The Lakers.
Absolutely. And Skip, the one thing that I think around the league and is without a doubt, without question, is that the Lakers take care of their great players. And this is why you have a lot of the all-time greats coming to play for the Lakers. It started with Wilt. That started with another team and came here. Kareem, Shaq, now LeBron. And in between, you had Bob McAdoo, you had Michael Thompson. Some of the historically great players have chosen to play for the Lakers, although they weren't drafted by the Lakers, because these are the things that they do. And this is the same thing that they did with Kobe. Skip, you remember his last 2 years? I think he signed a 2-year extension for $48 million. People are like, oh, my God, why would you do that? They say, for everything that Kobe's done for us, this is the least we can do. But, Skip, when you look at LeBron and what he's been able to do and how he's been able to stave off Father Time and how he's been able to avoid the injury bug, with the exception of a year and a half ago, that groin injury, he's been relatively healthy. He hadn't had the joint and the muscle injuries that a lot of people have had, a lot of players have suffered, even later in their career. So, for me, Skip, this was a no-brainer. LeBron said that when he came to the Lakers, this was the last stop before Cucamonga. In other words, Skip, this is the train stopping in Lakerland. It ain't going nowhere.
Where's Cucamonga?
You know where it is, right here. I don't exactly know what Cucamonga is.
Yeah, I'm not sure LeBron is headed there either.
But Skip, look, at the end of this contract, LeBron will be 39 years of age, and I think at that point in time, he'll probably be the all-time leading scorer in NBA history, and then he'll weigh his options. Okay, what do I do now? Where do I want to go? Do I want to continue to play? How am I playing? Because I think it's hard, Skip, when you've been a great, great player like LeBron for such a long, long time, can you see yourself averaging 10, 15 points a game? I don't see that for him, and that's one of the things Kobe said, like, man, I can't go, hey, I'm done. I can't be averaging 17 one night. Yeah, I can have the occasional 30-point, have the occasional game where y'all remember, man, that's Kobe. But so for me, Skip, I think it's a no-brainer that they went ahead and did this because, like, the fourth year was an option. You tear the option up, you go ahead and guarantee it. So $85 million, that's a small little consolation, Skip. What is LeBron James? What is LeBron James actually worth?
Wow.
Skip, let me ask you a question. If you would pay a man $40 million, what is he actually worth? Because you're not losing any money. That's the one thing I know about in business. You ain't trying to lose no money. So if you give a man $40 million, that means you turning a profit somehow, some way. Now, when you start getting these people back in these buildings, the vaccine is about to come out. They're going to be able to put people back in these buildings. Staples sold out again all the time. So for the next 3 years, guess what?
No, you're counting.
We got coming up, yeah. Yeah.
There's a guy in Brooklyn who might have something to say about that.
What about, well, we got something to say about it, too.
Okay, my turn. I was shocked by this announcement.
Shocked that they did it or he did it? LeBron?
That he did it.
Oh, okay.
All of a sudden, it's the beginning of the end to me. All of a sudden, I see LeBron's exit strategy, and truly, from my heart, it made me a little sad because it looked like you can see the end of the tunnel. You can see that he opted for security. He now has 3 years of high-paid security, and it felt like the beginning of the end, that as he approaches 40, he's going to be done with this. And he wants to end it here as a Laker. Don't have any issue with that, for sure.
Yeah.
But even Brian Windhorst, who's covered his career for years on ESPN, said this morning, or the overnight Sports Center, that he was very surprised because LeBron opted for security. Remember, after this coming year, he could have gone free agent again.
And do what? And go where?
I don't know. I mean, you could go to the highest bidder. You could join forces with somebody else elsewhere.
Are you happy? If you're happy there, going to the highest bidder doesn't make any sense. If I'm happy here, Skip.
Okay, or you can squeeze the Lakers just a little bit harder if you want to do that. And again, he got great money. He got huge money, but he could have pushed a little harder, just a little harder if he had wanted to.
What?
But then you have to play the field. And it just looked like, I'm good. This is where I want to go. And he is on pace, I'm going to knock on wood for him, given health, to, as you point out, to become the all-time leading scorer in that final year of this deal.
Correct.
It's probably going to take that.
Yeah.
And again, it's definitely going to take it because health is going to become an increasing issue for him as he approaches 40.
Well, and plus the fact, Skip, you miss what, 15, 20 games. This year they cut down, you cut down another 10 games. So
you never know.
You're running out of games here.
Okay, I got it. So it was shocking to me to sit back and think, man, what would the NBA world be without LeBron James? I always tell you, he's the most interesting man in the world. How many words have we spoken, excuse me, about LeBron James on this show since we started in 2016? 9 billion.
Yeah.
Because it's always something with LeBron. Even win, lose, or draw, sometimes the outcome of his games don't matter because there's always a subplot.
A storyline there.
There's always a sideshow going on in LeBron's life somewhere. It's either soap opera or it's just legitimate big news that seems to swirl around him. That's not always his doing. He's just one of those guys who was born hot. Like there's always, he has a force field around him that creates a dynamic of stories. And man, if he does go away, if he segues into a second career, and he's got all kinds of options in a second career, it's going to be hard for the NBA to live back up to the legacy that he will leave just in storylines, in marquee value, because, man, I just talked about opening night Clippers. Well, what do I want to watch? I want to watch LeBron versus the Clippers. I want to watch LeBron versus Luka. It's the showcase game
Christmas.
At what time it would be, like 8 p.m. Eastern, I think it is, right around there, on Christmas evening, okay? He is the biggest draw in the league, right? And to me, even our Commissioner Silver had to sit back yesterday and think, gee, could that be the beginning of the end? Is he now mapped out? Do we now see the light at the end of his tunnel into his second career?
Well, Skip, I think the thing is that when you look at it, it's like, okay, obviously when you get to this stage, you take it one year at a time. But LeBron is saying, okay, if they're willing to do this and give me the security, sure, I could probably hit the market. I could opt out after this season, even if I didn't win the championship, and probably go somebody, Skip, because of what he generates. As you mentioned, the buzz around him, the building's going to be packed. So he's going to pay that off no matter what you pay him. He's going to pay that off in attendance alone, let alone all the jersey and all this, the ad sales that come along with LeBron being on your team. But I think for me, LeBron James has made it abundantly clear when he signed here, he said, I wanted to be a Laker. I got everything else out of my way, Skip. I did the Heat thing, won 2 titles. I went back to Cleveland. I brought a championship to my hometown. So now this is about LeBron James and my ultimate happiness. Okay, Savannah, you cool going to the West Coast? I know, we've never lived on the West Coast. And we're going to be far away from your mom and dad and some of your, but are you cool with this?
Yep.
Hey, baby, go be happy. Where he says this is it. So, but this is what I want to know. Now, Skip Bayless has always told me, he's surprised that LeBron should go to the highest bidder. But when LeBron said that he was never going to play for less than max money, you criticized him and said Tom Brady always takes less so you can put players around him. Now you're saying he should have held out and went to the highest bidder.
No, I mean, that's just been his strategy. That would be, if you're going on, speaking of Tom Brady, would I be surprised if LeBron wanted to play till he's 43, 44, 40? I would not at all. And again, given his Iron Man stature, given his health this past year, given that he looked revitalized, re-energized, almost got younger looking and playing this past year, why wouldn't he be thinking about 45?
Let's get, first of all, by the time LeBron is about to turn 36, by the time LeBron gets to be 43, that's 7 more years. That's 25 years.
Well,
that's another. That's longer.
Okay,
that's 3 years longer than Robert Parrish.
Okay, Tom Brady is still going strong at 43.
But here's the thing: Tom Brady does not play what I would say a skill position: running back, wide receiver,
Obviously
tight end.
not.
So,
but you do get hit.
Yeah.
You did get hit by the Kansas City Chiefs about 15 times the other day.
But Skip, if you look at it, guys like Robert Parrish playing 21, 22 years, Kareem playing 20. You know, it's different on the body.
You always tell me how freakish this man is. Yeah. So would you be shocked? I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, I would be beyond shocked if LeBron.
Okay.
I would be shocked if he played past 21 years.
Okay, so I appreciate you opening my pet peeve door, because I do have an issue with this, and I've never understood it. And what would have really pleased me yesterday is if they had announced an extension in which LeBron received for his final 2 years in L.A. $20 million and $20 million.
Man, you crazy.
Instead of 40, what is it, up to 44? It goes
it's 41 and 40.
44.
Yeah.
Right? So there is this thing called a salary cap.
Yes.
It's a little softer in basketball, but there is an end to it. Where you can't go past X, right?
Yeah.
So why, if you have constantly through your career complained about, I don't have enough help, we're top heavy as you know what,
Right.
back in his final stay in Cleveland, then why wouldn't you do what several of the greats have done in their career, which is to beat the cap, to beat the system? I make enough money off the field. I've made enough in my career. I'll take half of what I'm worth. Look, I agree with your premise. If there were no cap in this sport, if this were baseball, he's worth $100 million just in box office cachet. I mean, he's a lightning rod draw. Some people don't like him. Some people love him. Everybody watches him. So he's worth the money, but there's a cap.
Okay.
And the players have accepted the cap for years.
The
Now, if
Lakers
they
don't
want-
seem to have a problem with it.
With what?
The cap and paying LeBron and paying AD max money.
Okay, well, that's because he demands.
He didn't, Skip.
He's in the catbird seat. He could say,
You can
know
say
what?
no.
Okay, well, can you maximize your help when you're taking 41 and 44 million in those final
The
2
Lakers
years?
could have said, no, we're not going to do the deal.
So now you have two max players.
Hold on, time out, Skip. So how many does the Nets have?
I don't care about the
How
Nets.
many
I don't
does the
care about
Clippers have?
anybody else. I care about this team.
Exactly, and
Because
this is the
you
championship
could
team.
max it out. What is the most important thing remaining on his docket, on his agenda?
He's there.
No, to win championships.
Yes.
Yes. You need to get to 6, right?
Okay.
Because then you could make a case. I'm 6-6 and he was 6-0.
Let me ask you a question. How do you know that he can't still get to 6 with max money?
Well, maybe you can, but I got to tell you, I'd like your chances a whole lot more if you maximized the rest of the team the way my man Tim Duncan always did.
Yeah.
Look at what Tim Duncan did in his final 4 years. Look at this. As they're winning championship, they should have won 2 in those last 4 years, but Ray Allen cost them one, that fateful night, Game 6
Okay.
at Miami. But here's Tim Duncan, the greatest power forward ever, a man who deserved max money beyond just about anybody else in that era who was playing. And this is 2012, 2013. He makes $9.6 million. 9.6? Then he goes all the way to 10.3, and finishes his final year at 6.0 million. What? Look,
Skip,
so
that's
LeBron's 41 and 44 in his last 2 years, and Duncan totaled in his last 2 years. Let's just take those. He totaled 16.3 million. LeBron's going to total 85 million. And he did it. He just publicly admitted, I did it so that we could stock our bench. So I had all the help that we could squeeze under our cap. And remember what they did to LeBron's Heat in 2014? They shot him out of the gym. They beat him in 5 games by a record finals margin because they rained threes because they had a much better bench.
And guess what? And LeBron was not making max money, and they still lost the championship, even though he wasn't making
a lot.
No, see, no. A lot is not max money. So he says I can not only win the championship,
was he making 10 million or 6 million?
Skip, hold on. All I'm saying is LeBron was a free agent. He took less money so he, Chris Bosh, and D-Wade could all play together. And in the process of them taking less money, LeBron still lost. So there is no guarantee if I take max money or I take less than max that I'm going to win. So with that being the case, I'm going to take max money. I don't tell anybody, well, this is what you should do, because there are a lot of people that we never ask these CEOs to take less money. We never ask a lot of people to take CEOs.
They don't play for championships.
They do.
Well, they don't. There's not an actual championship to win. What's your priority? Is it to make money or win titles? You can say both, 50-50.
Exactly.
Okay.
Look, I'm trying to make if you play a professional sport, 2 things should be abundantly clear. You play for money, you play for memories. And I'm trying to get as many as I can of both.
Well, that's 50-50.
Okay,
so one is going to undercut the other.
No, it's not.
Well,
okay, let me ask you a question. When Michael Jordan took $30 million each of his last 2 years, why didn't you ask him to take a pay cut? Why did he take less money?
You know what Michael Jordan
No. I skip.
for his whole career?
Skip. No.
He made $93 million total. Wait a second, just to keep this in perspective. $93 million total for his entire career. LeBron is on pace now to make $433 million.
Skip.
What?
Skip, you know inflation. Things have changed now. Hell, you could buy a Cadillac for $3,000. Can you buy a Cadillac now for $3,000? No, you can't. Things have changed. Come on, Skip.
But Michael Jordan won his first 3 championships, making a grand total over those 3 years of $9.8 million. He's making 3-something million. I know it was a long time ago, but still, he finally got paid reasonable money because he was worth $100 million in 1998. That's what kind of draw he was. He made 30 and 33 in his last 2, and he was still underpaid.
Think about this, Skip. There are guys now. Mr. B purchased the Broncos for $68 million. He paid John Elway $65 million over his 16 years career. There are guys getting $60, $70, $80 million in signing bonus. Skip, things are different now. The money is different now. Inflation. So we can't say because, okay, that guy made this much, he can only make that. Just imagine what a guy like LT, a guy like Montana, a guy like Elway, what would they make now if they were playing now? Okay. But that was different.
Well, let's talk now in your sport, the National Football League.
Yes.
Let's talk about the greatest player who's ever played in your league, the greatest quarterback ever, Tom Brady. Let's look at what he's done. He's made chicken feed his whole career. And then let's just go lately as he won his championships. Let's start in 2014 when they came back on the Legion of Boom in the fourth quarter to win that game. You could argue how it ended, but Tom Brady was extraordinary in the fourth quarter. He made $19 million that year. That's chicken feed.
Hold on, Skip. You said $19 million in 2014 was not chicken feed.
Well, it was compared to what a lot of others were making. So then it goes, the next year he took $13 million. And then as they pulled off the comeback for the ages against the Atlanta Falcons 2016 season, he made $14.7 million. That probably put him middle of the pack in quarterback money. Then the next year, 2017, when he sets the all-time playoff record with 505 yards passing in the Super Bowl, he made 15. Then 15 again in 2018 when they beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. This is average money at best. And then 2019, he escalated all the way to 23. And this year, he took $25 million to go to Tampa. This is the greatest quarterback ever.
So that's the only way to do it. So whatever Tom Brady, that's the only way to do it. Nobody else can do it. So what about the way Mahomes?
Why did he do it? It was to maximize his supporting cast. He always made that clear. I want to maximize my ability to win rings.
But you said you didn't know what Bill Belichick, you said they didn't have any cap money, so you didn't know what Bill Belichick was spending it. So what?
Well, Tom can't spend the money. He can only make it available. So he made it available to Belichick. To me, I am lost. The biggest mystery to me, maybe in your sport, is where did all the cap money go? Because Tom gave him a ton of cap money.
Well, look, the way I look at it like this. If LeBron James says, this is what I'm worth, somebody pay me what I'm worth, and I'm going to do. Skip, he's not taking half, he's not giving you half effort. He's not giving you half play. Pay me for what I'm worth. And what the Lakers deemed his value to be over the last 2 years is $85 million.
If he'd taken 20 and 20, would it have helped his chances to win more championships?
No.
No?
No.
So if they had an extra $25 million to play with under the cap, you couldn't add an eighth man or a ninth man who would be much better than the eighth or ninth that you're going to wind up with?
Skip, I can assure you, Rob Pelinka has looked all around, and he tried to add, and I'm sure he's run about AD, waited as long. That's why AD probably waited as long as he did. And LeBron was waiting. Okay, what can we add? Could we add a piece? Could we add a piece there? Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to add a piece. So, boom, we're going to move forward with what we have. Skip.
It also would have been such great PR to say, you know what? I'm just taking less money so we can win titles.
Skip. No, Skip. But let me ask you a question. I take less money. Is there any guarantee that we're going to win a title if I take less money?
No, but there's a guarantee you're going to have a better chance of winning.
No, ain't no bet. Skip. LeBron was on max money last year. AD was on max money last year. They won the title. Hold up. Paul George was on max money. Kawhi Leonard's on max money. They didn't. There are no guarantees in sport. That's why we love sports so much, because they are none. And we got to stop this notion. You need to really stop this notion, Skip. Tom Brady is not the only way to do things. Well, because Tom did it like this, everybody else, Tom can do whatever he likes. But just because
he's just the GOAT, so that's one way to do it.
Well, Floyd Mayweather did it his way. A lot of other people have promoters. Floyd Mayweather say, I'm going to charge my own play.
No cap.
But he can do it his way, Skip.
It's a solo sport.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Skip, at the end of the day, LeBron Inc. LeBron is an entity in and of himself.
Sure.
And my job is to make as much money as I possibly can, have as many memories as I possibly can. So right now, I got a lot of good memories, and I've made a ton of money. Continue to do that. So, but because Tom Brady does what he does. LeBron James don't live his life on what Tom did.
Okay, don't come to me with we don't have enough help.
Oh, no. Don't come to me talking about no asterisk when we win another title. Because
there's a big one on the one you just won.
We got it.
Yeah.
Got that.
You need another
Go
bubble.
Get another one.
Maybe they'll have to go bubble again.
It doesn't matter. Guess what? 20 years from now, won't nobody remember. All they remember them rings and things. Do you remember, Skip?
I won't forget.
Oh, 99 was a strike shortened year.
Yep.
Do you remember that, Skip? Guess what? Tim Duncan won the title. Is there asterisk by it? In 2012, the Heat won the title. Asterisk by it? I think not.
Tim Duncan should have been 5-0 in finals.
Skip, I don't know what he should have been.
Yeah.
I don't know what he should have been. I know what he is. I know what he is.
Yep.
Skip, normally when people on a joyous occasion, congratulations. Congratulations. Thank you. Oh, man, that's not what you're doing here.
Congratulations on your great luck.
We don't need no luck. We don't need no luck. Y'all got issues. We're going to talk about the issues that y'all got going on in the basement. We heard it all along.
We have none, and it's fake news. All fake news.
No, it ain't no. Skip, baby, we heard it all along. We upstairs because we live in a duplex. You know, in the duplex, Skip, you can hear everything. I told you. Your day coming. Your day coming. And it's going to happen sooner than later.
Well, opening night is your night.
No, Skip.
Yeah.
Shannon, I'll give you a congrats. I know you're happy about this. I know you're excited.
I need to be there.
This is your.
I need to be in attendance.
You can't go right now to these games, so you can't find a way inside.
The Lakers need to hire me for one day. I'm about to go into quarantine for 14 days so I get a job with the Lakers so I can be in attendance.
To be honest, I feel like you could pull it off.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.